Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about all the money in the world. The world. Nobody is above money. Other topics will include gold price, fiat, metaplanet. I'm going to talk about metaplanet as well. Many things. This is a movie, actually. Okay, it's a good movie. Ridley Scott. First of all, just to delete the ambiguity. Yeah, Ridley Scott movie. What the fuck? I can't even type right. Can't stand these keyboards anymore. Anyway, yepper. No fucking. Okay, let's go. Alright, so, all the money in the world. This movie, great movie. Oh, you didn't like it, huh? Oh, it was pretty good. Why was he removed from? Yeah, I knew it, right? I was going to cheer the mother on, yeah? Okay, so, I got my own thoughts on this one. It's very cynical. Hopefully that's what I can offer. If you want to hear more stereotypical opinions about how loving someone without caring about money is a good thing, and everyone's saying that. But I'll take the opposite angle, just for fun. Okay, so what did I want to say I was talking about? Oh, cool. I'm going to look at this later. But let's do the movie first then, since I have it open. This is a great movie. I watched it. You can get it. The funny thing is, just type this movie into YouTube search, and it's hilarious how it just kind of pops out. I don't have to tell you. Why that's not cleaned up, I have no idea. But thanks for the free movie, YouTube. And it's funny because both Amazon Prime, I think Amazon Prime has it, but you got to pay. And Netflix just doesn't have it all right. So great, I watched it. Thank you. Legality of it, I have no idea. Don't ask me. Apparently, there's no legal issue if it's just available on YouTube. As you can just, if there was a legal issue, imagine you go to your friend's house, load the movie up, get in legal trouble. They're pretty insane, huh? But the movie really is about, it's a real story, which is what makes it really good. And it's not that far off from the truth, apparently, especially in the way Getty was played. It's a great movie. I love it. I know. But I love it. You know what? These days with AI, I don't even look at this anymore. This is just whatever. Who cares? If the topic interests me, if the thing interests me, I just watch it. And, I thought my eyes were glued. You know, I don't trust this anymore because I've seen so many 9 out of 10s and I can't even stand 10 minutes of it. So it's really not really a good barometer of anything for me anymore. If it's like 1 out of 10, I'll skip it. It probably means it's universally just bad. But Anyway, is that his son? But the movie and the story is about a real man, Getty, who was an oil. I think he was the head of. He founded Getty Oil, went to Saudi Arabia and got a deal to build a super tanker. To basically, he's an entrepreneur. He got the oil out of Saudi Arabia, sold it, and made a fortune. And he was labeled to be the richest man ever in history, if you account for inflation or something like that. I don't even know. And the premise of the story is that, okay, here's the thing, right? So, his grandson, John, yeah. So, he gets kidnapped by the Italian mafia. I got here because I was looking up the Ndrangheta. I can't even say it properly. It's one of the two, I think one of the most powerful mafia groups in the world. They were portrayed in Equalizer 3. I was fascinated by them. Like, can they really do that to people in small towns, just terrorize them? And apparently they can. They can run extortion rackets where they sell you the security, but they're creating the problem, they're selling the solution. Quite clever. And, that mafia group were involved. I will say, in the kidnapping of this boy right here, Charlie Plummer. And because they knew he was the son of a very rich man, and they demanded a $17 million ransom, and it was knocked down to like he wouldn't pay. His ear got cut off. Famously, this is true. His ear got cut off because he wouldn't pay. Then he would pay, but the movie made a big deal about him getting really hard on about the tax deductible part of it. If he were to pay, he would be willing to pay only up to the tax deductible amount. So he was always thinking about the savings that you would get from any deal, right? And it reminds me of me. I'm like that too. I'm a cheapskate. I'm a cheap fucking skate. I don't want to pay anybody for anything if I can help it. It must come from my mother's side. I don't know what it is. It's funny because before I got money, I wasn't like that, and after I got money, I became more like that. So it's a struggle, honestly, to fight that off. And what I don't want to hear though is judgment for people who've never been rich. That's really, really annoying. I've heard too many of those things where people say, "Oh my God, it's so terrible. How can they be so greedy? All those scumbags." Listen, I don't judge anybody for which I have never been in their shoes before, because you never know. It's not so black and white. You don't just phase into their body and then act with their power and situation, and you would be the guy making the right choice. Judging Hitler, judging all these people, is like, it makes no sense. Judging makes no sense. I shouldn't judge people who judge, huh? It doesn't accomplish anything, does it? All we can do is talk about what happened, what we can learn from it, and what's interesting about it. That's it. Judging makes absolutely no sense. So anyway, it just happened. So $17 million ransom initial offer. He knocked it down to $2 million and eventually gets paid. All the while, the mother, which is played by Michelle Williams, is pretty much in distress the whole time because his son's kidnapped. This guy is a security agent, the guy who, former CIA, who works for him and ensures he's a rational guy in the room, ensuring that he gets out. She's going like neurotic bonkers, obviously, because she's the mother. All right, so obviously, you'll have the story about how, how it's, oh my God, it's so terrible. The guy is so terrible. The greed, right? Wealth, greed, and the mother. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. So why this got attention to me is that he had a line that really resonated with me. I thought it was really cool. He said, people claim they don't want money, they're in it for whatever, but the moment they get a sniff of it, like, okay, the way he worded it was very poetic. He said, like, once you get all that money, it's like an abyss opens in front of you. Now, you can do a lot of shit with your life. You can go anywhere you want. You can buy homes. You can buy land. Okay? Your options break wide open. And it's really the feeling of the transition that's the best. Like, before you were limited in your world because you had no money, and now you do have money. That transitional period is unbelievably fantastic. I highly recommend it to everyone. It is not about starting off rich. It is about transitioning from one class to the other. That is sweet as fuck. And I would kill to taste it again, okay? I think that drives people like crazy in the world to just keep going up and up and up and up because they want that taste again. But anyway, so he was saying that as that abyss opens, your potential starts growing. And you're hoping that people that you're around with, the people who love you, the people who, your spouse, your children, don't get dragged in with you. But they eventually do. They see the same abyss and they want in. No one's above money, basically. And it's a very interesting story. The morality of it is kept quite neutral, I think. So you'll see what happens. And I know a woman will always cheer for the mother, no doubt, obviously. She's the obvious good guy. It's too obvious to pick her as a good guy because she's discarding money as a thing. But let's be real, okay? Like, I'm sorry, but it's too easy, isn't it, if someone is just immediately the good person in the room. One thing that I think Galen said was right is labeling people as good, bad, good guy, bad guy. That is so Disney. I'm sorry, but that is so oversimplified. Humans are neither good or bad. Like, they can commit atrocities, that's for sure. But anyone who calls someone bad doesn't make them a good person. Yes? All right, so it's like, I believe the evil resides in all of us. It's just whether or not you have the right environment to tap into it. That's it. And whether you're cowardly enough to tap into it, or no, courageous enough, sorry, or cowardly to even look at it. I have deeper thoughts about this one too. So, what was my real point? I had no real point about it. It's just that this is how it unfolded. The thing you learn most is money is king. It is. It's not king if you can't get it. If you feel you can never get it, what everyone does, including me, is you play the sour grapes game. I never wanted it. People who have it are just dickbags or scumbags, whatever. Oh my, those rich people, they're so fucking lame with their fucking yachts and lavish lifestyles, right? I do it all the time in my videos, right? But really, I'm just insanely jealous. Honestly, I'm just insanely jealous. That's what it is. You tell me that if I can buy a yacht, I can go, I tell you a story, like, when I was transitioning that wealth class, I had money to burn. I would rent, like, these ridiculously stupid sports cars. Those are the kind of cars that the girls in my English class would just revolt and go, bleh, what a fucking scumbag guy or whatever. I mean, you don't even care. I don't know. But you drive those cars around, and then it's a drop down, and then you look at a place because it's not really the kind of car you should drive anyway. It's like an Audi convertible. And then, little kids will look at you and, like, smile and wave at you. Like, you matter now. You're different. You're kind of special. Feels good, honestly. You only do it only for a little while. And to be honest, Audi converts are very uncomfortable. The leather seats make you, like, they burn up at your balls, and it's not really comfortable at all. But different point. It's just, it feels good, no doubt. And this guy is portrayed as having a lot of, like, nice little castles here and there, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. I don't judge. I think I could have been him easily if I had that much money, if I was that entrepreneurial. And let's not forget, to do what he did, right, ain't easy on his own, right? He got to Saudi Arabia. He did the entrepreneur thing. That's hard. And then the moment he gets all that money, his whole family wants to dig into it, kind of, right? Allegedly, the son actually wanted to engineer a kidnapping incident to extort money from his father, which is the thing that was played in Fargo, right? The people were asking the guy in Fargo he wanted to extort his own wife. Oh, wait, no, he wanted to extort his father-in-law by kidnapping his own wife. It was really a stupid story, but it was really hilarious too. That's not that far from the truth. He wanted to extort his grandfather, okay, by letting himself get kidnapped. Unbelievable. So he was talking about it, not being serious about it though. In other words, it takes that money, the freedom, go across. How does going across Europe sound like? Backpacking forever. Romantic, huh? With your girl, or your husband and wife, kids. Harvard, MIT, it all opens up to you. Oh man, it's so sweet, yo, so sweet. You can start companies, your own fashion line for your girl. Wow. Hard not to be tempted by this shit, honestly. I mean, you spend that money, you just sit at home and do what? Watch TV? It would seem like almost like a criminal waste of your life at that point. So, dreams open up. Everyone's got dreams, and they all open up with money. I gave you a title. They just all open up, and we'll see what happens, right? So, interesting movie. It's a real story. Sad thing happened to this guy. His ear got cut off because of the ordeal behind this kidnapping. He eventually became an alcoholic, which was actually apparently was half caused by him having to drink a lot of alcohol before and after his ear getting cut off, which is quite a gruesome scene. They had to pin him down, and a doctor came in and sliced his ear right off because they wanted to send a message. We're serious. We have your son. We're serious. He would not pay the ransom. But what he said was true. This is why the U.S. doesn't negotiate with terrorists. It sets precedence. If you acknowledge that you will pay, everyone else is at risk. You put future people at risk. You go, oh my God, you don't pay the ransom. You're so fucking stingy. That may not be the point. More that if you make it really easy, you just pay it right away, then what's stopping them from just doing it again and again? It's a very hard point to master. I think for myself, and I don't know if everyone else is out there thinking that, oh, the humanity of kidnapping someone. But, I mean, like, anyway. So, that's a crazy story, right? Moral of the story, don't get involved in a family of someone really rich. I don't know what to tell you. It's really hard to say. I thought it was a really good movie. Ridley Scott, yeah. Okay. So, along with this, I wanted to also brain dump something else, which was, well, another thing was also this woman thing again, like, they're so in love. She and She and her husband were so in love at the beginning. They have a nice little family. Kids are watching TV normally, and he's filling her up in the kitchen, and he's taking after kids. And then money gets fall. She's like, you know what? She's all to blame. If it's correct, she's the one bitching to her husband, bitching. We're quote unquote broke. Ask your dad for a job. Yeah. And he gave it one to him. And that was bad. Because he turned from a normal person to basically, if it's accurate, he turned into basically a drug-loving, whore-loving idiot after. And which she wanted to divorce him. Do you not see her ascent to godhood through money? If she never bitched about them being broke, this would never have happened. But she looks at the money, probably it's jealousy, right? What you can't stand is you landed a jackpot, you married someone who's got really rich, and then everyone around you is living the lavish life except for you. That's painful to watch. It's painful. It's like the inner circle gets populated with money, but you're excluded. Look at the Lakers dynasty. When Jimmy Buss, whoever the original owner, wanted her hand down, and then he picked Jeannie, which is the correct choice because she's the most capable. Everyone in the family gets jealous as fuck, and they're so bitter. And you have that selective memory thing going on, but everyone remembers something different about the whole thing, which is what. Another point is that why do we have a court of law? Now I'm really clear about it. It appears that people's memories are very interesting. We actually remember the most favorable version of something that either benefits us or whatever it is. That's why you need to have a court of law. If you don't have a court of law, holy, what a fucking crazy shit, okay? Regarding my own incident when I feel I was basically abandoned, dumped for just garbage, as human garbage by my wife because I went crazy and I was no use to her anymore. I felt really angry. I felt abandoned. But she might not think that. She might, I didn't abandon you. I just wanted to protect myself. Then I would say, well, from what? I never harmed you. Do you have any bruises on your arm or anything like that? It's like, no, but there was a threat of it. So it never ends, right? Like, people always view the memory in their own little lens, and it's like, that's why I don't want to talk to people anymore, mostly, because everyone's kind of on a self-interest agenda, whether they like it or not. And that's fine. It's fine as long as you're honest with yourself, I think. But what I can't get over is that if people are masking it behind a trying to look nice or be nice kind of persona or whatever the air they give it to people, it's fine too. I don't want to judge. That's also fine, but it's extra work because now you have to decipher behind it. Otherwise, you get sucked into their little image. So what's endearing about Plummer, about his role, the character, is that at least this guy's honest about his greed. You know what I mean? He's transparent about it, whereas these people are not. That's what I'm trying to get at. Not to judge, just like I don't give a shit how cruel. I do give a shit, but if it's excessively cruel, it's like, oh my God. But as long as you're authentic with what you really want and how you present yourself, then it's virtuous to me, You are who you say you are to be, and not someone else, which is what I can't say about my wife. She is not who I saw her to be, and she put up a really good image, and that's why I'll never want to get married ever again. My experience with my wife is like, even the most purest, angel-looking girls will be like, whoop, you go one wrong turn and it's all over. They become like crazy to me. And she thinks I'm crazy. I think she's crazy too. Everyone thinks we're all crazy. It's insane. Anyway, when it comes to kids, money, future, Harvard, I keep bringing up Harvard for some reason. Harvard, the good life, don't have to work hard, protect them from factory, or it's always like this shadow of the, oh God, you work in a factory, a shit job, and you can't even make ends meet. Man, that's how our world is, isn't it? That's how the world turns, though. Without that, everyone's just be lazy and do nothing. Anyway. That's a different topic. Money, right? All the money in the world, right? What is money? Money. The more I deal with money, the more I feel it's not even there. It's just an ethereal concept. Give an example. I accidentally, quote unquote, bought a lot of U.S. whatever. I think money market funds, collection of U.S. debt. You buy it, and it pays 5%, 4%. And the U.S. is gonna be good on their word, right? And it's a sweet deal, right? I guess it is, kind of. And then you realize, wait a second. government does this every year. They issue bonds, and you have different rates and all that shit. I think I'm just paying for the interest they owe from people last year. You know what I mean? Like, and then next year, the guy buying the bonds is gonna pay my interest. It's like a little loop. And it's like, what the fuck is this? You know, the more you click on these buttons on the website to do these fund transfers, the more it just goes like, what? Like, what is this? We're dealing with like digital, and the AI confirms, central banks, treasuries, and the whole money systems like that. Literally, the government every, I don't know, whatever period of time it is it every year, they hit a few buttons and boom, money is generated just like that. It's not like printing money like cash. It's just settling of their debts and everything through the Treasury M2 money supply. Look it up. Why gold is up so much? It's not really up. Gold never really up. Gold is just an asset class that doesn't change. And the reason why it looks like it's up, it's really that the fiat is getting worse, right? Because if they print that, if the M2 gets higher and higher and higher, then the gold doesn't change. It's relativity. Gold is not going up. It's the fiat's going down. It's because it looks like it's going up because it says plus 50%, but that's against a currency. One sobering chart I recommend to look at is look at assets. The SPY I raved about. Everyone raved about. If you look at SPI denominated in gold, it's quite a sobering chart. Actually, you'll realize this overall. If you were to average all the stocks, whatever, those companies, corporations you buy into, Disney, those kind of things, you know, SPY, all that shit, it kind of doesn't really move all that much. Like, it just kind of goes with the gold, which only tells me one story. Fiat just keeps decreasing over time. That's all it really is. That's why you have inflation. Things are not really more expensive. Again, it's all fiat decreasing. So then, as my friend Wei warned me many years ago, and I kind of felt this way too as I watched my great savings dwindle away. I mean, there are exceptions where deflation does occur, but it's quite rare. That keeping all your assets in the dry powder, they call it, as AI calls it, because you can instantly, it's the most liquid asset there is pretty dumb. And you should convert it to any kind of other asset class, whether it be land, gold, Bitcoin, SPY, doesn't matter, ASAP. And just keep them as some whatever the currencies as a backup fund. And if you need the cash, you sell some assets that are high up. I would sell gold right now if I wanted to, and you move on with your life and just protecting your assets. The thing is, it's an extra step. It's really annoying. Kind of wish it was automatic. They do automatic things. It's NISA in Japan, and no, it's NISA kumitate じゃなくてtate何か NISA. I forgot what it's called. And they have also eDeco, both of which I'm doing, and the money's kind of gone. I don't even check the website anymore. It's kind of like floating out in space somewhere. All in all, I would never want to work ever again for a company for nothing less than like 100K USD a year, and even then I wouldn't want to work there because you're getting paid in some weird thing. I can't explain it. It's like once you have your food, shelter covered, reasonably so. You can just relax. I don't know. Like, the next thing you really need now is like a gigantic amount of money, like just to put things like buying property in Paris into like buying a grocery, like going to a grocery store. I don't know. Like the thing I noticed most about wealth like class change is that the most important thing is what becomes an insignificant purchase to you, because that becomes bought in bulk, right? So it's hard to find them sometimes though. But like. So that's kind of like the only thing you want to do is you want to change wealth classes. The extra like $1,000, $2,000, whatever minus, it doesn't really matter in the long run. I don't know why I went so crazy about saving like 20 yen on eggs. I guess it was just fun. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal actually. The most crazy example I ever could give you is that I used to because in Japan they don't give you plastic bags at the register. You have to actually bring your own bag. I think it's probably around the world they're doing this. But you can also pay like 3 yen for a bag, right? But then I feel so ripped off paying for the 3 yen. So once I went to my local supermarket, I forgot my bag. So then I went back home to get it, not realizing that driving to and from the home cost you about 50 yen in gas. and it defeats the whole purpose of being environmentally friendly. Just because I don't want to feel like a loser paying 3 yen for a bag that other people are not paying for. So when you look at the way he's treating deals like that, it's the same psychology. If you ever do that, you're just as bad as this guy, just as bad as him. It's just a different scale. And I'm just saying, it's so easy to judge him for being this bad, but he's not. He was also like credited for having a new art museum built he was contributing all of his work. There's good in him too. Again, we can't label good or bad, right? It's just easier to have her as a heroine of the story. Right. So, I guess him versus her, right? He's in the middle as some agent, yeah? What else I want to talk about? Right, so the overall arching theory I thought was that, if you look at geopolitics and how people, these... Okay, let's look at the other way of looking at it. If you look at through the horrors of the world, and recently I was brought to my attention what was it called? The Unit 731. I believe it was the Japanese Imperial Army, World War II. You can look it up in Wikipedia, but if you don't like to read gruesome stuff, don't do it. But Unit 731, there was an interesting post on Reddit about the most disturbing Wikipedia page. Unit 731 comes out, the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia with their the mass graves and the tree where this is where people get, the catch line is basically they bash children's and babies' heads against the tree until they're dead. That was the catchy oh my god part, and did a lot of bad shit too. And you have Unit 731, you have that, you have the Nanjing massacre and rape and all that shit. And then when I was younger, I would read that and go, oh my god, these are just terrible people. The soldiers are terrible, the leaders are terrible. But you know what's funny? It's really hard to assemble a bunch of aberrant people, like thousands of people like that, and have them all cooperate in a systematic way. Because to run Unit 731, to run a whole army, you need everyone in that group to listen to one leader. And to say that, oh, well, they just happen to recruit the most, 1,000 evil people is a bit naive. What I'm saying is that your friend, your wife could be one of those people who cheer them on. It's there. It's just we live in different times. The consensus from the AI was that people are just people most of the time. There's just one bad idea or one bad leader promoting an idea is enough for humans to commit atrocities en masse. So all you need is one, and then the pressure point here is conformity. If you don't follow everyone else around you, you're going to be left out. Or we'll punish you. Or we'll do the same horrible shit to your family and children. Again, they always target your family and children. It's a threat. Conformity equals safety. Women do this all the time, I feel. A lot of them do. They go right to the conformity because they don't want to stand out and they want to be conforming. The same conforming energy, which can be good if the underlying system is good, is also extremely destructive if you're following the wrong person. And therefore, the question that becomes discernment. Can you identify who is really going to help you out? And this is trickier than you might think. You might think doctors are always going to be good. Investigate doctors. Did they not promote smoking for many, many years? Did they not do lobotomies on people? Did they bloodletting on people? Not to say they're bad, just that they can be misled. And in the modern times, with fee-for-services model, I talked to my psychiatrist who was supposed to save me from my fucking illnesses. She did not do anything. The only thing she ever did for me was, after 2 years of giving me a lot of benzodiazepines, she then said, oh, you know what? Maybe we should get him a nurse. But it wasn't even her idea. It was the non-profit organization, plebs, who looked at me and said, this is pretty bad. He probably needs some nursing. And then they got authorized by the doctor. The doctor didn't do anything. The doctor was very content with just selling me medicine the whole time. You must have had experience like this. I don't know who was out there listening to this, but doctors send their kids to med school in Harvard and live their dream of going to Europe, not by telling you what helps you the best, but by selling you more and more medicine. If I said I wanted more, I forgot what it was, more benzos, happily oblige. In fact, the weird thing is you would never go into a doctor's office and come out without a bag of medicine. They would never ask you how you really feel, what's bothering you, you need emotional support. They never ask that shit because you know what? That shit in Japan usually, it's not even on the therapy. They want to sell you meds. Meds. Doesn't matter if you need it or not. As long as it's not unsafe, they'll sell you meds. And it's insane. Absolutely insane. And to people who think that you can't quit, I think one of the most addictive, I can't remember the name anymore. It doesn't matter to me. But, like, you can. It's easy. I told everyone, all it took is for one nonprofit group to get me some nurses, of which one of them, I still celebrate her to this day. She showed me that she cared. And it's like, well, wow, you know. Now, not to get too moving, but, like, even though I wanted to be moved by this, I dumped the nursing group as soon as I thought I was fine. They wanted to continue, of course. I don't want to continue. I don't need it anymore because I'm recovered. You've done your job. And they were upset. She's disappointed, she says. What do you mean disappointed? I told you I'm fine now. Oh, are you disappointed that you can't continue my account and get money off of me? Drawing right back to here, right? Everyone wants business, money, more money. Keeps you alive, keeps you afloat, keeps a good bento in your food, keeps a yummier sushi. Your kids are yum, yum, yum. They get more toys, more. Everything revolves around more. And to judge people for more, it's just jealousy, I think. It's just straight up jealousy. It's straight up jealousy. I am jealous of Elon Musk's 26 kids. I am. I'm jealous of all that shit. I just want to admit it right out. If I could have it, I'd do it. But you got to be super rich and be very influential, you know? And I tell you one thing. I was telling people that I don't think women are very good judges of character. They're not. They follow the money just the same. It's just more indirect for them, I think. They do. Not all. Just most of them do. And a partnership that's successful to me is usually about a lot of compromise, for sure. And it's nothing like the initial flame of romantic love and all that stuff where it's all fitting in perfectly. Once you have the kids and all that, I think nature is already working against you. They want to break you apart because your interests are diverging at that point. And let's face it, look at men. They always watch porn videos of 20 to 30-year-old girls fucking each other all the time when their wives are getting older because the wife doesn't turn them on anymore as much. This is true, undeniably true, because of all the stories I've heard in Japan here when I was like, it was quite an eye-opener. I don't know why, but in Toronto, like, it seems to be like really like closed off. People don't talk about it at all. But here in Japan, it's like, holy, everyone. I've had married women take off their wedding rings for having sex. I've had all kinds of like crazy. I mean, they're endless. The gist of it is that after all that, I'm like, I have no faith in any woman, married or not. I was on the benefiting side, okay, not the getting hurt side. I was on the getting hurt side too. I heard all kinds of crazy shit. Like, we don't know whose kid it is. Not, oh my fucking god, these are not whores. These are well-to-do. These are the cabinet attendants that bring your food on JTA, okay? I'm not kidding you. These people are absolutely, I thought when I first came here, absolutely insane. And then the more I got comfortable with it, I'm like, this actually makes sense. You know, like, if you're not going to get caught, then why not? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it doesn't make any sense to, like, stick to your moral code. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and, I don't know why we're taught otherwise, honestly. It just, why not? Just don't get caught. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. Or if you do get caught, have an exit, you know, or all that stuff. Bottom line is, and he had a line in here too, like how he thought objects were so much more beautiful than people because objects never change. There's a directness to the object or whatever the non-person thing is. Inanimate objects basically are just, they can be so beautiful because they never change, right? And there are many examples of this, right? A very beautiful cathedral or whatever, or a piece of work of art, they never disappoint you. People will always disappoint you, I think, in some way or another, because it is true that we are all flawed in some ways. It's really weird, and why the idealism, I don't know, but it's really a struggle for me to figure this all out, honestly. And that's why I think focusing on things that are really beautiful, like music, art, code even, just all these things that are like the abstract world, really, that are just, they're so beautiful. And I thought I met the most beautiful person in my life, and nope. Once you have kids, it's like, it kind of goes south after that. Honestly, it does. Every time I get married, have kids, it always goes south. I thought I was a special one, I'd be the exception. I thought I was, and then bad shit happens and it all crumbles, so. I mean bad shit's out of my control. And like, now I feel like, you know, after 5, three, four painful years. It's like finally I'm free from that need, and I'm like, oh, nice. And it's like, it's weird. It's like waking up from a really weird dream. Like I look at the same picture of my wife and I feel nothing now. Whereas I thought she was the most beautiful person in the world. Even the same pictures when she was young is like, it has no influence on me anymore. And it's like, that's crazy. Because like this happened to me a lot of women. Like when you're in love with them, it's like you look at pictures like they're the most beautiful girl in the world, and then fast forward 5 years, look back, you're like, well, she was just okay, huh? You know what I mean? Like it's really weird. It's like your eyes will just change. The perception changes because you can't see a person for what they look like. It's what they've done with you. That's what you've experienced with them. It alters your perception of who they are and what they stand for. And it's just like I can't even trust my own senses in this situation. It's crazy. And so it's inconsistent, making it very unreliable and very subject to change and prejudice and all these things. And it's just a whole bag of complicated stuff. And it's just like, oh, no, forget it. But the whole idea is that in the end, it's like you read about these. Oh, what about Evan Prison? Jesus Christ, in Iran. Although it's not as bad as I thought it was, but like, it's a fascinating story. You look at the white torture. Oh man, that is just white torture. Whew. That's horrible. I didn't experience anything like that, but close to that, I think, when I was locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Just by saying that, I'm already discredited, right? People think I'm crazy because I was like that. Possibly, maybe. But I mean, like, that is some serious, serious shit, that stuff. Like, oof. Although the justification is that better that than being tortured for, like, years in, like, a black site or something. I don't know. But the most interesting story, which I could not find to be more fascinating, was that there was a journalist, was it a investigative journalist who was imprisoned in Evan Prison with her boyfriend. They were both doing the same job, and they were in prison there. And I thought, whoa, that's a horrible place to be. But apparently, they can get their own room as long as you're not the horrible type of person. They don't really throw you into the white torture room. But she said she struggled for infertility for years, and yet in prison, she and her boyfriend conceived. I was like, that makes sense. I don't know why that makes sense to me. I don't know why. It's like, first of all, that's crazy that you can have sex in Evan Prison, but they did. It's a real story, and they did. I mean, it's generous of the Iranian people that allowed to have sex. I wish I had sex in a fucking like psychiatric hospital. Psychiatric hospital is a much worse place if you ask me. And they had a child, and she gave birth to him successfully. Her, in Evan Prison. Wow. And I just think, sounds like right when people are wanting the child so badly, and then all of a sudden, because of the most unlikely of times, it just boom, you got it. I don't know why that is. It's like nature resists, doesn't it? It's like that analogy where if you try so hard to stay afloat by like swimming as hard as you can in the ocean, you will drown. But if you know what you're doing and just lie on your back peacefully, you will float. It's that kind of thing. And I don't know why it's like that, but it is like that. And all I can say is this world is full of mysteries. It is so hard to judge people on good or bad, wrong or right. People who look good can be bad. People who look bad can be good. And money is king. As real as it is, at least in our modern world.